All right, I felt the need to do another couple chapters in the Proverbs. In the Proverbs Bible study. I am tired. I want to tape dispenser. I want to rest right now. It is 4 o'clock. My husband leaves work at 5 and he will be home. He doesn't work very far from home. But when God says do something, it doesn't matter what your circumstance, you need to do it. You need to listen to him and obey. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. If you grew up in the church, you probably know that song. Oh, my throat feels so dry. So, we ended in Proverbs 19. This will start in Proverbs 20. I have a really big one circled. It's actually the first verse, Proverbs 20, verse 1. Wine is a mocker and beer is a brawler. Whoever is led astray by them is not wise. So, whoever is led astray by them is not wise. So, if you like wine, like beer, there is nothing wrong with them in themselves. But when you are led astray by them, like if it gives you a buzz and you start driving, or if you're drunk and you get into an argument, or if you're in a situation you shouldn't be in and you become intoxicated and physically you're led to do something you shouldn't, it lowers your walls. When you allow yourself to be overtaken by the effects of alcohol, it lowers your walls. And that's what this is talking about. So there's nothing wrong with enjoying them. New Testament, Jesus even he made wine. He made water into wine at a wedding because they use it for celebration. But if you allow yourself to be led astray by them, that's when it is an issue. Many a man claims to have unfailing love, but a faithful man who can find? I'm pretty sure we can understand that in today's culture. And I would just say about mankind in general, not just men. We all claim to have unfailing love, and like when we get married and at the altar, we just, in that moment, in that time, we honestly, truly believe that we are never going to have an issue. We're going to be in love forever. We're going to promise to each other, all this stuff. But finding someone who is truly faithful all their lives, no porn, no lust, no cheating, no like even touching your wife when she doesn't want to be touched, disrespecting her, no. These are all ways of being faithful in marriage. And I don't think there is one man who can say, one human, period, in their marriage, in having unfailing love, that can say that they are completely faithful. We are sinful humans. So, goes with the territory, unfortunately. Who can say I have kept my heart pure? I am clean and without sin. Nobody ever, no human being in history or in the future will ever be without sin. There was only one, and that was for a purpose. The purpose was to take all of our sins and atone for them. So, even a child is known by his actions, by whether his conduct is pure and right. ears that hear and eyes that see, the Lord has made them both. God made all of our senses. God made us with the capabilities to visualize things, to see colors, to be able to hear things. God made you with the eyes to be able to view this video, or the ears to be able to hear it, the hands to be able to touch things, the mouth to be able to tell if your body needs hydration or taste flavors. He created all of that. It's pretty awesome. Do not love sleep or you will grow poor. Stay awake and you will have food to spare. I feel like that is saying don't sleep all the time or you're never gonna you're never gonna do anything. You're gonna be what's called a sluggard. Someone who's, you know what a slug is. They're very just slow. They leave trails of slime behind them. If you just lay around and do nothing, your life is going to amount to nothing. You're gonna have nothing to show for your time because your time was doing nothing. But if you are awake and you are productive and you are active, or like not even necessarily physically, but you are visually and I don't know how to stumbling over that one. How to explain it. If anybody wants to look that one up, it's Proverbs 20:13. Help me explain that in the comments. Just leave a comment on how you would explain that verse, Proverbs 20:13. This is the New International Version. Gold there is and rubies in abundance, but lips that speak knowledge are a rare jewel. Oh yeah, there are treasures galore. But you've got all kinds of treasures of knowledge, treasures of study, and all these different things that you can glean from, and that's what makes your insides rich. But if you do nothing with them or don't talk about them or share your knowledge, that's what makes all of that treasure a rare jewel, because not everybody gleans their knowledge and information and then shares it with other people. Make plans by seeking advice. If you wage war, obtain guidance. Yeah. Ask around. Hey, I want to do this. Or if you're in charge of, like, say, a city or a state or a country or a church, or if you're in charge of anything, ask for guidance before you do things. Don't be hasty. Think it through. A man's steps are directed by the Lord. How then can anyone understand his own way? I know what I want to say on that, but I'm going to have to come back to it because this is another problem I have, knowing what I want to say, but not being able to create the words. We aren't supposed to understand where God is taking us. So the question is, how are we supposed to understand where we're going if God's the one directing us? We don't have to understand it. All we have to know is that God gave us this path, and that's the way we should go. That's the straight and narrow. Because if we're like, what? You want me to do that? No way. And you just go your own way. It's like, for one, yes, he gave us the opportunity to choose, but at the same time, choosing God's way is always the best way because he knows exactly where it's leading. He also knows exactly where your choice is going to lead you, but that's not going to end up positive. This is going to end up, God's way is always going to end up the best way. No matter how it looks to our eyes, we are inherently evil. There's nothing good that comes from just a person saying and doing what he wants. because our minds can't comprehend what is going to come down the road. God does. That's why he knows exactly where we should be going. We don't have to understand it. If we try to understand every single thing that we go through or have gone through or what's coming up or like where's this going to take me, there would be no, for one, there'd be no free will to choose, because we'd already know exactly where everything's going. There would be no excitement, or we wouldn't be able to experience the range of emotions that we have if we knew exactly how everything was going to end up. The glory of a young man is their strength. Gray hair, the splendor of the old. It's right. It's right. Blows and wounds cleanse away evil, and beatings purge the inmost being. When we take the initiative to really search out ways to purge our souls, our minds, whatever's in our lives, whatever's muddying up our mind, whenever we take the initiative to purge that out, to get rid of anything that is negative or takes us to a thought or a feeling or a place that just drags us down, then our journey is going to be so much better. And it might take some serious beating to get that out of there. It might take a counselor or a psychologist to be like, tell you some stuff you really don't want to hear. But we have to get that out of us, or it's just going to poison us. All a man's ways seem right to him, but the Lord weighs the heart. Exactly. We think we know what we're doing, but God knows better. To do what is right and just is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. Better to live on a corner of a roof than to share a house with a quarrelsome wife. It is better for you to go spend the night in your barn or garage or man cave or woman cave or wherever than it is to address somebody who is just going to argue with you. And it's like, no, you have to separate yourself. Even if it's someone you love, even if it's someone in your home, you have to separate yourself from that person sometimes. Because if all they're going to do is argue with you and nag at you and there's not any good that's going to come of that. So you need to separate until they calm down or actually feel like talking, or I think you get what I'm saying. If a man shuts his ears to the cry of the poor, he too will cry out and not be answered. A gift given in secret soothes anger. Yeah. If you're walking around and you'll might see someone, oh, they look like they need help, let's go the other way. Absolutely not. Sure, if you see that person and you think, oh, I don't have anything to give them, that's completely different than, ooh, I'm ignoring that because I ain't going near that. That's terrible. Any gift given in secret soothes anger. So if you're able to help that person, don't be showy about it. Be, just like, hey, there's a coffee bar behind us, or there's a McDonald's right there. How about, I buy you a meal, right? But don't let it be known that you're being helpful to someone. A man who strays from the path of understanding comes to rest in the company of the dead. Kind of like the verse on the other page. This is God's way. This is our way. If we decide to go off the path of understanding, we're not going to end up in a good place. comes to rest in the company of the dead. Better to live in a desert than with a quarrelsome and ill-tempered wife. Who is this lady? He who pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor. He who guards his mouth and his tongue keeps himself from calamity. Yeah, if you watch what you say and use your filter, don't let things come out that shouldn't. You're stopping yourself. You're using your brain and saying, I don't want to get into a bunch of crap. I just want to listen to what God has to say and say what I need to and not say what I shouldn't. A false witness will perish, and whoever listens to him will be destroyed forever. So, a false witness, someone who lies. A liar, if he continues to lie, if he does it on purpose, he's digging his own grave. And other people who listen to him and do what he does and, you know, become his followers or whatever, and they're all liars, they're all telling people the untruth, they're going to go right down with them. There is no wisdom, no insight, no plan that can succeed against the Lord. Because, in the end, boom, God already wins. The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but victory rests with the Lord. Even though we know God is going to win, there's going to be a battle either way. Because the devil still wants to see if he can do it. And he wants to use us. So, are you battle ready?